Hey, everybody. Welcome to AMPED Golf. My name is Mike.
And I'm Jeff.
We're glad you could join us this week for whatever we're going to give you. So we're not really sure what it's going to be. Actually, that's not true. We do know what it's going to be, but
All about golf and probably some more golf.
Yeah. And LIV Golf is dominating these days. And I'm okay with that because there's a lot to talk about. And if it's golf, I want to talk about it. Paul Casey just became the latest defector. Not really a defector, but the latest to jump to LIV Golf. And really, for what they're paying golfers for a 54-hole no-cut event, why wouldn't you go? Pat Perez is a perfect example of this. He was probably the first person trying to get cut from a no-cut event by shooting an 80 on the final day, an 80. And his team won the team event. So he got $900,000.
I mean, it would be nice to throw up an 80 and get that kind of payday. You just don't expect it, right? So, I mean, so the jokes aside, which, it's kind of odd rewarding poor play comments and that, it brings a different angle, right? So even if you have a bad day, which they're known to happen in golf on the regular, you still have good opportunities with this new tour. So
just look at Phil Mickelson in his two events. He's a combined 20 over par. $200 million. 20 over par.
I can do that. I can do 20 over par.
Yeah. I mean, come on. So Pat Perez has averaged just under, I think, 50 grand in his 500 starts on the PGA Tour. He won $900,000, which is $850,000 more than his average in his first start. Why wouldn't you go?
Right. So the PGA's challenge, I mean, there's some humor to be found in this situation about, bad golf, but this, that, and other thing, and Phil is astronomical numbers and all this other stuff. But the end of the day, golf is these guys' job, right? And so they are going to go where they can make a living, where they can get paid, where the money is. And obviously, if you can shoot 20 over, I mean, Phil's got a huge history behind him. I would never take that away from Phil.
No, never.
But he's made $200 million for shooting 20 over par.
Yep. And Dan Rappaport tweeted after his 4 days in Portland at the LIV Golf event. He said this: "To me, the strategy is clear. Spend, spend, spend. Give the players, the caddies, the coaches, and the agents everything they want. Worry about the rest later."
Yeah,
that's exactly what they're doing.
Well, they have deep pockets.
Very deep.
They have extremely deep pockets. This is not like the third iteration of the USFL where they have some money to start and they got to get it going quick. Right. This is deep oil money. So.
And it's almost an unlimited well to keep dipping your bucket into, right?
Right. So, and golf, I mean, golf really is catching on over there to the point where there really is a drive for it, but there'll never be the market that they have in America for it, or Europe for that matter. I mean, Europeans are passionate about their golf too. But the thing about it is some of these countries, Dubai comes to mind, the Saudi Arabian investment firms, many other Middle Eastern companies or countries, they have the resources to do this. They can throw money after it until they figure it out.
Yep, they can. Billy Horschel came out. He said, "I can't hold it anymore." And he said, "Look, I have no ill will towards anybody going to LIV Golf." Again, and this is something we talked about the last probably two times we've had the podcast. He's more upset about the hypocritical comments they've made and the attacks on the PGA Tour, which he takes personally because he's a card-carrying member of the PGA Tour, right? Mm-hmm. But in particular, he slams the "I want to play less golf" comments. Do you know how many events you have to play in the PGA Tour if you're a card-carrying member?
15? Is that correct?
It's 15. He's like, "You want to play less? Play less. No one's forcing you to play 30 events a year." He goes, "I haven't been home in 3 weeks. I'm not going to be home next week. I'm not going to be home the week after. That's something my wife and I decided to do." I want to chase my dreams here on a tour. So I'm going to play as much as my family and I discuss that it's good for us. He goes, that's really all anybody has to do. I think, and we talked about this as well, if they don't get world golf points, where are these players at? They're going to have to play the Asian tour, right? That's the only one available to them.
You mean the LIV golfers?
Yeah.
Why do you even golf? Why not just go work on your game, do other stuff the rest of the year? Go find a great coach. You're going to win more money than you've won on tour,
Right.
ever.
The
So
question,
you don't have to golf if you don't want to.
The question comes up in 3 years if this tour doesn't have a foothold, right?
Right.
And PGA has permanently banned the players that have gone over. DP has not done that, but the PGA Tour has done that. They've permanently banned them. Are they going to make these players crawl back and say, please, sir, may I play golf? May I have a round?
Well, I point to the golfers themselves who said, I would never go to LIV Golf. I would never. And yet they grab their bag and they're on the LIV tour. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Would they ban them for life? Maybe.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. So anyway, they held their second event. It was the in Portland, and Brandon Grace won it. So Grace shot a 7 under 65 to end the 54-hole shotgun start tournament with a 3-shot win over Carlos Ortiz, who did birdie the final hole. He shot Grace shot a 13 under 203. So Grace won $4 million, which is the winner's share of the $20 million purse. His career earnings in a 171 PGA events was just shy of $12 million. So much like last week, where the last place winner,
right,
who had $30,000 in career earnings and won $120,000, he why wouldn't you go?
Right. So that's the whole thing. So, and the PGA is making some moves, right? I mean, they've announced some format changes. I mean, honestly, it looks to me like they took the LIV Golf Tour's bullet point list and rebranded it and put it out, but that's just me. But that's what you got to do, right? Plus, they're promising increased purses, on the PGA events and one other tour, DP, I think they said.
Yeah, the DP tour, yeah, and PGA just last week and partnered with them more and are 40% stakeholders now in the DP World Tour and gave them an injection of cash to help them fight because the fight's coming.
Right.
Ian Poulter just won the right to get back into the Scottish Open after he was banned. There's a South African and another one, a Spaniard, I believe, with him. So those 3 people were added to that tournament. And the head of the DP World Tour was not happy about it. Poulter takes it as a win. And I got to say, I don't disagree with some of the things Poulter was saying. He's like, look, I've played this many events here in Europe. I've been in a Ryder Cup. I'm passionate about golf. Mm-hmm. At this stage of my career, I wanted to do something that was for me and make some money. And seriously, and if the opportunity was there, so I took it. I don't blame him. And Graham McDowell stated the same thing. If you haven't seen McDowell's press conference, go find it, go watch it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. He was almost in tears. He's been getting death threats since he announced he was going to LIV Golf. People have just been absolutely hammering the poor guy. And he's like, look, I've been doing this for a long time. It's like much like what Poulter said, it's time to do something for me here and make some money, and if you think that the DP World Tour didn't take money from the Saudis before this, you're mistaken. They did right. It for two years, I believe. So there's a little hypocrisy on both sides. It's not just one side.
Yeah, it's going to be a cat fight. We're going to see scratching and clawing and biting. Whatever needs to happen, they'll do it. The PGA helping DP get stronger is no surprise. I mean, you need an ally in a fight, and if your ally is stumbling around, you grab them and support them, and that's obviously what the PGA Tour did. But people need to. I get it. We're all passionate about golf, right? That's why we do this. but I would never pick up my pen, figuratively speaking, and send something ridiculous like that to any pro golfer. They're going to do what they got to do.
Right. It's just the age of the internet and access to all this stuff and being able to say things, like we do behind, we're sitting at a keyboard and we have a computer monitor and a camera pointing at us. We can say anything we want.
Right.
Are there going to be any ramifications to it? Probably not. People just won't listen.
Right. But I think the measure you have to use is, would I say the thing I'm going to say about Phil Mickelson if Phil Mickelson was sitting in a chair next to me and I got the honor and privilege to interview it, right? I mean, if that's your test and you honestly answer to yourself yes, then okay, So I would ask Phil, why'd you do it? Why did you create the controversy that you knew you would create?
Yep.
When you did what you did about the LIV tour and then went there, I'd want to know. I'm curious.
Yeah, me too. I'd be honest. And one of my first questions I think would be, and look, be honest with me. Any regrets?
Right.
Any?
Right.
Probably not. Right. But
yeah.
Take where he was coming off his win at the PGA last year, right? And coming into this year, oh my God, Phil could still play. He won 3 senior events?
Yep, 3 at least.
There was a lot of talk about what his future looked like, and there was a lot of talk about Phil belongs in the booth. He needs to be calling these games and really sharing his expertise. That's never going to happen now. I don't see how that happens, and it's a shame because when you listen to him when he's mic'd up, he's a lot of fun, man. He's a lot of fun. So I don't know. The team competition. Good.
I was just going to say, some of the announcing for the LIV tour is a little ridiculous. So maybe Phil ends up in the booth there to get some quality announcing going. Because wow,
I live for shots like that.
I mean, I like dad jokes as much as the next person, but oh my goodness, come on.
That was horrible. And I got to say, I watched some of it. It's hard to watch. The golf is not the best. There's a lot of people over par. There's a lot of people way over par, and it'll get better as they attract more people. I know that, and that's okay. I thought I'd like the 54 hole format and the shotgun start. I'm just not a fan of the shotgun start. 54 holes, there doesn't seem to be that moving day, that everybody needs. And, I'm just not a fan of the shotgun start. I don't mind it in a scramble, but in a professional golf tournament, I thought I'd like it. I really did. After watching it, I don't like it.
I think I like the premise of it, and I need to watch a round of it, but I like the premise of it because the conditions are the same for everybody. Right. So your early group doesn't get the blessings of the cooler air and the softer greens, and your later golfers are chewing on 20 knots of dry wind with greens that are running 18 on the stimp meter now. So
right.
I like the premise of equal conditions, taking that part of it out. But then again, I also sometimes like a little extra challenge for the guys that are out in front to tighten it up, So
did you see what Taylor Gooch said at all?
I did not.
So this was his comments straight from his mouth. I haven't played a Ryder Cup or President's Cup, but I can't imagine there's a whole hell of a lot difference. This was as cool as it gets. We've been saying it all week. The energy is just different. It's awesome.
I'm pretty sure there was a call made to his agent from somebody and said, "Hey, here's your script."
JT, Justin Thomas, who was playing in the JP McManus event, that the 2-day Pro-Am that Tiger's in, and his press conference, they were asking him what it was like out there. He was like, "Oh yeah, the energy is great out here. It's just like a Ryder Cup."
So who that event, speaking of that event, somebody got disqualified from that event.
Jordan Spieth did.
Jordan Spieth. And so I have to tell you, my wife found that news particularly soothing.
is the same wife that got disqualified from her event?
She may have been disqualified from her event. Yeah. It would have been great had he teed off outside the tee box.
Oh my God, that would have been priceless. You're
That
just like Jordan Spieth.
Right. But no, apparently he just picked his ball up and walked off a green and didn't finish the hole. You're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, he thought it was a gimme apparently, and apparently that's not the way it worked. So, hey,
Oh.
but he's still allowed to play as part of the team competition. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
just disqualified from the individual competition. So,
And Jordan went, meh.
yeah, whatever. There's a great picture of Jordan and JT and a couple other guys at the start of their round when they got to Scotland. They all had a pint of Guinness and they're all cheering. And apparently they drank Guinness while on the course too. Hey, good for you. I would do that. Just saying, if you need a third or fourth anytime.
I can't drink Guinness, but boy, I'll speak in my best Scottish accent and cheer you on.
Okay. I can't wait to do that. Next time we play golf, I just want Scottish accent from you.
I cannot wait.
Perfect. So in the team competition to wrap up the LIV Golf thing, the four aces team of Johnson, Reed, Perez, and Gooch won by 7 shots. And the Stingers earned $1.5 million by finishing second, with the Fireballs finishing third. $500,000.
I just ridiculous. Can somebody please call LIV Tour and ask them to even have a naming competition? Like maybe we'd get Bodie McBoatface might even be better than the Stingers or something.
I haven't heard the Bodie McBoatface in years. That's fantastic. So LIV continues with the event at Trump National in Bedminster, New Jersey at the end of July. Until then, we're just gonna get some news. So to keep going with this a little bit, Ian Poulter was reinstated this week after lawyers were successful in overturning his and 2 other players' bans from the DP World Tour for appearing in the Saudi Rebel circuit. I love how they put this. I feel like we should be like there should be Darth Vader and stormtroopers and stuff like that, right? So the Rebel base, despite being known as Mr. Ryder Cup, he instructed his legal team to challenge a European circuit suspension from the Renaissance event, saying he felt offended considering his long service and his contributions to the blue and gold cause. So the other 2 are Justin Harding from South Africa and Spaniard Adrian Odagui, I believe is how you pronounce his name. I apologize if I butchered it. I probably did. So that happened, and apparently they're just a start. And the LIV Golf Tour is going to pay all their legal fees and everything. So it's happening. We knew it was going to go to court eventually, right?
So does that, I mean, like, can the DP suspend them again and they have to go fight it? Or is this do you know how the court?
Yes, this is just the first step, saying that
Okay.
it wasn't actually a court. It was
like a governing body or whatever.
Yeah. So
gotcha.
they were also fined $100,000 each. So everybody that the DP Tour went after. So they keep calling them the Rebels. I love it. I really do love it. Star Wars theme. This is going to have to be. Anyway, so the head said, Keith Pelly, DP World Tour chief executive, said it's important to remember, however, this is only a stay of the sanctions imposed pending the hearing of the players' appeal as to whether those sanctions were appropriate.
Got it.
All right. So a lot could happen still. They think Poulter got somewhere around $30 million just to sign up for him. He's tail end of his career, $30 million. There you go.
Yeah. I don't mind the Star Wars references as long as we don't do any Jar Jar Binks. We still got to play a golf. No, that's not going to work for me.
Oh, you never should have said that. You really never should have said that. So to wrap up LIV Golf talk for the day, well, maybe for the night, they're going to include more events and a name change next year. So the series is going to transition to the LIV Golf League, and we'll go to 14 events with 48 contracted players on 12 teams. And the events they're going to cap the number of events at 14 going forward, apparently. So I expect that to change, even though they said they're going to cap it.
I don't know why the first thing I thought of was when you said it's going to be the LIV Golf League. I just thought of like men's softball, on Tuesdays and Thursdays with a cooler of beer and any umpire from the crowd. That's what came to mind.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So this year they're in England, Bangkok, Saudi Arabia, along with 5 U.S. events: Portland, Bedminster, New Jersey, Boston, Chicago, Miami. They're expanding it in more venues around the world. So there's quite a bit of travel for these guys, especially if they're not going to stack the events in the United States together, right? They're going to spread them out. So you could be flying all over the place. And what I hear now is that they're paying for everything. So your
That's
travel,
nice.
where you're staying, they're taking care of everything. So why?
Chicago still an option for
Yes. Yes, it is. And it's I think it's a serious option. We need to talk about that a little bit more, because if we can go there and do some volunteer work, we could really get a feel for what the event is like. I saw some fans. I didn't see, what you would see at a major golf event here in the United States, or even in Europe for that matter.
Right.
It just didn't feel, I didn't feel that same vibe. But again, I only watched parts of 2 days, so I didn't see the whole thing. So lots of different things coming up for LIV Golf. Stay tuned. We'll try to keep everybody informed with the stories and news we hear as we get it. But let's get to the John Deere Classic. JT Poston is now a 2-time winner on tour, thanks to nobody in the top 50 showing up. Was it 40?
Something like that. And he was wire to wire.
Yeah, he did go wire to wire, $1.2 million, but that's not the main win. The main win is a spot in the Open Championship.
Right, exactly.
That's fantastic. He couldn't have been more excited. And he is the oldest looking 27 or 29-year-old I've seen in a while. Are you giving me a high five?
Sorry, I'm not. I'm trying to fix something, and there was just a little technical issue going on. Sorry about that. I forgot the camera was.
Yeah, you're all right. I just loved it. I loved it.
Everybody on Facebook was going, get that out of our face.
Yeah, right. So he opened his week with a 62. A 62. This is not the easiest course in the world at times, right? There's some pretty tough holes here. And he closed with a 269 at TPC Deere Run to join Scott Hoke and David Frost as just the third player in tournament history to lead from start to finish. So he gets a spot in the 150th Open Championship at St. Andrews, along with Christian Bezadenhout and Emiliano Grillo. So they both tied for second and lucked up the 2 spots, and they also each earned just over $600,000. So not a bad week.
So I saw he was hanging around 20. Where'd he end up? 20, 21?
Who?
The
Poston
to win it. I forget.
Oh yeah. God, what was it?
Well, the reason I mentioned that is I thought we might see some folks go a little lower on that course, and we didn't.
Yeah, I don't have what he finished at. I'm not sure why I don't. I'm woefully underprepared, apparently. A lot of people talked crap and trash about this tournament, but it is a tournament that has meaning and merit, I believe, every year if there are spots still available at the Open Championship. Right. So if you want to play in it, you got to kind of play in this event if you're not already qualified, which is really nice. Up next is the Barbasol Championship. Apparently he finished at 21 under. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Up next is the Barbasol Championship, which again is going to be just like the Deere Classic. There's not going to be any big names in it because everybody's going to be at the Scottish Open. What we have right now is Wesley Bryan, who's one of our favorites. Aaron and I love him. He's playing along with Harry Higgs, who I personally love because it's like watching me, a sweaty, paunchy mess, walk on a golf course and try to hang with the big boys, right? So, and not taking anything away from Harry Higgs, he's just like a regular guy, and he acts like it. But he's an unbelievable golfer. He's really good. So he's going to be there as well. Sam Ryder, Doc Redmond's not a bad player. He had some medical issues. I think we're going to see more of him. Sam Ryder's going to be there too. And they're teeing it up at Keen Trace Golf Club in Nicholsville, Kentucky. And the 3.2 million purse is one of the smaller ones on tour this year. So everyone's going to be at the Genesis Scottish Open.
Yeah.
It's a stacked field. Keegan Bradley, Patrick Cantley, Stuart Sink, Corey Connors, Harris English, Matt Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood, Brian Harmon, Padraig Harrington, Homa, Horschel, Victor Hovland, Matt Kuchar, Matsuyama, Eduardo Molinari, Morikawa is going to be there. Joaquin Niemann, who's having a really good year too, quietly a really good year. John Rahm, Justin Rose, Schauffele, Scheffler, Smith, Spieth, JT, HV3, Johnny Vegas, and Will Zalatoris. Right. Really, really stacked field. And that's not including a lot of the European golfers that are really good that I just don't know because I don't follow European golf all that much. Right. So,
right. Yeah. That's, I mean, honestly, if you can handle the time zone difference and find a channel that's carrying it, which it will be carried, I'm sure that Golf Channel will have it on.
Yes.
Couple other places, and sure you can advertise this Golf Channel back. Thanks. You know, that's the tournament to watch. That's where the names are, right? They're all going over there to get ready for the Open Championship.
Yep.
The weather is different. The feel is different. It's a different environment. The courses are different. So that's if you want to watch the big names play, that's what you got to tune into.
Yeah, Links Golf is a different animal. George and Wesley Bryan have a channel together called Bryan Bros on YouTube, and George was invited over by the Royal and Ancient, whoever runs the whole thing, to try to qualify for a spot in the Open Championship. And he didn't miss by much. He missed by 4 or 5 shots, which not a lot of people were going low that day, apparently. There was a YouTube video which you can go watch. You can watch him play and try to do it, but it's link style golf, and it's totally different than here. You know, you got to land the ball short. You got to run things up. The fescue on is just, you know, it's knee high.
Yeah,
and it's all this wispy stuff. If you're out of the fairway, it's hard to hit bunkers.
Yeah, you're not doing fairway first cut rough, which, you know, rough to us, if they leave it go 6 inches and it's Bermuda grass, we feel like we're in prison. Yeah, there you're right. Stuff is knee high, and it's fairway fescue in some places. So
yeah, it's a different game. So, and it's not one that we play all that often because our game is to land it on a green and get it to stick, right? And when we're trying to do it, actually,
there is a links course within about an hour of us that we'll have to go play. It's a fun course. I've played it a few times. One of the 9 holes is a little more linksy, if you will, than the other 9, but plays just like a links course. Just anything low running is the ball to hit.
Yeah, I think that anybody that really has good control of their iron game and can hit those piercing flights to get through the wind is going to be a big deal this week. So I'm going with John Rahm, actually, and I never thought I'd pick him, but I think he's going to do a top 10 easily here, and could really contend for the title at Scottish Open, and setting himself up for, I know he wants to win next week in a bad way.
Justin Thomas.
Ooh, and Aaron's going with Will Zalatoris. So
that's a good choice.
It is a good choice.
Some strong play. So.
His iron game is stout, really stout right now. So Tiger has talked about playing in the Open Championship, and his press conference was pretty outstanding. I thought he was pretty candid about a lot of stuff, and he had lots of good moments at this tournament that he's playing, this 2-day event. Somebody asked him how he's doing and if it's been worth it. And he said, it has been worth it. It's been hard. He's had some very difficult days, and some days where moving off the couch is it's a hell of a task. And that's just the way it is. And the best thing that I thought I heard him say was, I have my own 2 legs, which I tell you, I'm not going to take it for granted anymore. Some people do, but people who have come close to or lost a limb understand what I'm saying. Some days you have difficult days. Some days you have great days. And they asked him if this was his plan all along to play in all the majors. He said it was, but he just couldn't do it for the US Open. He said there's no way he could have played in that tournament. His leg was so bad it wasn't ready. And watch him walk with pants on. You can tell that that leg is crooked and is not what he's used to. So for him to be that close to losing that leg and still being able to make the cut at majors, I still think it's amazing.
Yeah, I know he wanted to push himself, in the course Augusta, for the Masters had to be, I mean, obviously it was a horrible test on that leg, right? And he was in a lot of pain, even by the end of the second day. And to gut it out, kudos to him. And I get that he's not taking it for granted. You could make the case that maybe it was too soon. Did he do more harm than good? Only Tiger and his doctors know the answer to that question.
Right.
But I'd like to see him in the Open. I'd like to see him do well. I don't know if he can win it. Don't know what the leg will take, but it's fun to watch him play.
His iron game, like his mid irons, isn't there. It's not. He's not hitting quality shots as often as he used to with those mid irons. So if he's spraying the ball at all at St. Andrews, he's going to have a hard time.
Right.
He's really going to have a hard time.
But I mean, there are a couple of shots that he patented that he's hit on that course that, just are designed for it. So
yeah, get that stinger going of his piercing through the wind. I think it'll be pretty good. So the Scottish Open is going to be a good test. If you get a chance to watch it, it's a stacked field. You're really going to see a lot of the same players at St. Andrews. And I think that it's going to be a quality event. So I believe Rory is already committed to next year for the Scottish Open. And Padraig Harrington is looking forward to playing in it as well. Who else? Somebody else was, I don't remember now. Shane Lowry was, who's not in the field. He's in St. Andrews area working. So could be somebody to watch next week. But we said that a couple times about him, right?
Yeah, he hasn't rung the bell, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And if you get a chance to watch it. We'll talk about it next week. So apparently Xander Schauffele's on a heater because he won the JP McManus Pro-Am. So it's 2 in a row for him, right? You won last week.
He did, yeah.
Or the week before last. And it's interesting. So this is a pretty special event, and I didn't have really any idea of how special it is. But they've raised quite a bit of money. Somewhere around $140 million since the inception of this tournament. So Schauffele finished in first place at -10. Rory and JT and Ricky Fowler, who I didn't know was in the event, finished in the tie for 5th at 5 under. Morikawa finished at 4 under. Cantley at 2 under. Scotty Scheffler even. John Rahm even. Matt Fitzpatrick +7. That's interesting. And then Tiger Woods +7 as well. So Matt Fitzpatrick was not better than a guy with one leg. What does that say about Matt Fitzpatrick? Well, I'm just kidding. I
feel like there's a minefield there somewhere.
Yeah, he was probably enjoying some Guinness as he was walking around playing, right? He's a young guy. Why not?
Why not? Yeah, why not?
So we got to play some golf on Saturday, and then some of us played on Monday with those that were physically able to.
It was a rough recovery from our block party here in Defiance. So
yeah, so Jeff's block got the police to shut off the street, and they had a big block party. Everybody pitched in, tons of food, tons of fireworks. And at the end of the fireworks display, Jeff and I were tired. So Jeff was the general on the display and the setup and what to do and when to do it and lighting everything off. And I was responsible for dunking the burnt out casings and stuff in water, a pool of water, so that they could be properly disposed of later, and then setting up everything again. I was tired at the end of that.
That was a lot of work. I worked you hard. I told Sarah the next morning, I said, I worked Mike pretty hard, but I hear he's out on the golf course. And she said, he got up and went. So
yeah. So we played on Saturday and it went well. We all played some of our best golf, right?
I don't know about my best golf, but returning to better golf would be the way I
Yeah.
would phrase it. So
Yeah.
putting was starting to come back at the end of the round. Went par bogey for the last three, which I was happy with. So can't complain, especially 7, which I completely bladed my approach and rifled it over the green. So hey,
Yeah. Aaron's hitting the ball well. We had a range session last Wednesday. We'll probably, if he's feeling better, do another one this week at some point. Get that driver of his going over that, hitting that 300-yard mark again pretty consistently. That would be really nice, especially when we're playing in a scramble together. And I was pretty happy with my wedge play. I was hitting the wedges really, really well. And again, on Sunday, I think I was hitting them pretty good too. So, or Monday rather, I was hitting them pretty good too. I did play today at Moose Landing, which we had to wait the rain out, and then the passing, that line was right there in Kalida with all the storms. So there was a ton of lightning in the area. It moved off just far enough for them to let us out. And I played with Travis, and we played our 9 holes in 2 hours and 10 minutes.
So
our 18 holes in 2 hours and 10 minutes. So
even better. So I'd love to get over there and play them this year. Play that run. I enjoy that course. I haven't played it in a while, so I would like to. What's my dog doing? I would like to do that.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a beautiful course. If you're in this part of the state in Ohio, the northwest corner here, get to Moose Landing. They have a really nice course. It's in great shape. It's very well run. Even the bunkers are beautiful. Everything really about this course is good. It's top notch. The greens are still lightning fast, even though they were squishy. If you got it rolling, they were rolling good. They were rolling well. Anyway, English much? No. Everything was holding because it was saturated. So every green I hit, it stayed on because that's just how wet they were. So
did you go fishing on 18 then? Did you go after the green in 2?
I did go fishing in 18 with my 6-iron. I was about 195 out, and I was playing draw because I was going after the 6-iron. And when I go after it, I'm going to draw the ball probably good 20, 30 yards. And it didn't draw. It stayed out to the right, crossed into that one little section that bends in.
Yeah.
Crossed the green and then hit the rocks and bounced in. If I would have hit the draw, it would have been too much. So either way, I was probably getting wet, but it was still a great shot.
Yeah, for anyone listening and doesn't know the course or hasn't heard us talk about it, 18 is an island green, so it's a little bit of risk reward on the 18th hole there. So.
Yeah, and it's not a long par 5. It's probably 530 maybe. I don't even know if it's that. I don't remember the yardage off the top of my head, but we played one up from the tips today. Last time Aaron and I played there, we played the whites, which is a different experience because the course is a ton shorter. On the par 5 back on a back 9, which hole is it, Aaron? It's the one we left on the first time we ever played there. It's like 12, 13, 14, something like that. So it's a dogleg left, big par 5, and it was into the wind today. I flared out my drive to the left, and I just had to punch the ball out, and I had about 170 left into the wind, and I had to do a draw with the 8-iron. I got it up over the trees, just cleared the bunker in front and put it about 6 feet away. So it was
nice.
Yeah. Travis was like, there's another golf shot. I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good shot, but I couldn't hit the driver today. Just couldn't hit. I was hitting these heel cuts and just all over the place. So we got to do it. We got to do it. We'll get Travis to play with us. He's a ball striker, and he pummels the ball. So you'll like him. He's ex-Marine.
Yep, that's what you said.
Took up golf not that long ago. So
right, yeah, that's what you said after you just let him walk away without introducing him to me.
I know that was super rude of me. That was so bad. I don't even know why I did that, but anyway.
I'm just teasing you.
I know. I'm going to try to reach out to Steve and Napoleon, see if I can play Napoleon with Steve this week while I'm off. So, Steve, if you're listening, I'm going to text you after this, see what your week looks like, and we'll go from there. Hopefully this weekend we can play a little bit and enjoy some good food.
Yep, get some tea times. Yeah, I'll see what the boss lady says, but I'm sure she's going to want to golf.
Yeah, let's do it. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty decent, so, and not quite as hot, so that'll be nice.
Dog days are here.
They are here, and so are the dog days of golf. It's wrapping up. The season's coming to an end here. Not too much left. So
That's true. And they're playing more of a seasonal schedule now instead of this wraparound weird stuff they do.
yeah, and starting 2023, they're going to that format where they're going to start in January, end in August, September, and then the players have the rest of the year off. Those that want to play, there'll be events for people trying to keep their card. I think 6 or 7 events for that, but for the most part, everybody that has locked down their stature standings, they'll be good to go. So, I mean, if you look at it, we talked about it last week. You can go back and listen to that episode if you haven't. And we tell you exactly what the PGA Tour is doing and what a top player schedule is going to look like. Really, probably 18 to 20 events max. So, and that's not that bad.
No, it's good to see that they're, starting to listen to the players. I know some of the players have said that the schedule is just grueling. And so, trying to get that down to a manageable level. I mean, nobody should have to play a baseball like schedule where you're trying to play 162 games and, crazy stuff. So,
no, here's the thing. You don't have to, right? To go back to what Billy Horschel said, you play the events you want. You can pick and choose what you want to do. They do have some events that they'd like to see you at, right? But you only got to play 15, which is one more than LIV Golf. And all these not all of them, a lot of the LIV golfers are saying, I want to play in other things. Those are the guys that are saying that they did it for the money. Bryson DeChambeau came out and said, look, it's a business decision.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Right. Thanks. I think they pushed out a little bit when they first started talking about it, saying, well, it's not for me. It's not for me. They should have said, well, think about it. We don't know what we're going to do. Instead of, it just sits. I know it doesn't with you, and I understand your position. It just
I know it does
there and marinates with me. And it just makes me go, come on, man, just say what you're going to say.
No. And I completely understand that. But I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, I understand why that would kind of be frustrating for people to hear you. Oh, right. Okay. I'm not worried about him, going to that. Oh, now he's going. Right. I get it. But again, these guys, they've got to make a living. And if they feel like they can do it better, that's their job. Right. So I look at it this way. If you feel like you need a new place to work, you're going to go find a new job. So,
and when you really think about it, any of the people that left, are you going, oh shit, that hurts?
Right.
You're not, right? So
none of them are the real hot ones right now. I mean, anyway, so
Yeah. And I still haven't figured out how LIV's going to grow their player base. They've got no organic way right now to do it. So,
right.
Unless they can get official world golf ranking points and they can start paying people out of college to come play for them, they're not going to do much. So it's always going to be just taking those late stage players who are after the money. And if you're after the money, good for you. I don't blame you. I'd like more money too.
Yeah. That's going to be one of the things, I understand they're throwing money to get it going right now, but that's one of the problems they're going to have to solve. So it'd be interesting to see if they can solve it.
Right. So Aaron, I hope you feel better. I hope it doesn't last long because we have golf to play this week and want to get out on a golf course. I'm feeling decent about the game right now. If I could play 3-4 times a week consistently, I think I'd feel a lot better about the game, especially if I can get the driver going. So,
yep, I like what I'm starting to see. So I'm focusing on some of the basics that I haven't been able to work on in at least 2 years. So, get that going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we'd love to thank you all for joining us tonight. We appreciate everybody who's watching, listening, and we appreciate all the feedback we've received as well. So hang out till next week and get ready for for the Open Championship. We'll have a special show coming next week. Aaron's going to get all the course information because that's his thing. He loves having all the course information, and we'll go from there. So.
Sounds great. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in, listening to us and watching us, like Mike said. So thank you a bunch.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.